Smith here from Touchstone Education. I hope you are very well. Today, I'm with you in what many property investors would consider to be their dream. The dream for any property investor, surely, is truly passive, hands-free, completely don't touch it, income. So good, passive income. Because many of us, whenever we started, were sold the dream of truly passive income. But we all know, as soon as we get involved with buy-to-lets, HMOs, or any of these other things, that there is work to be done. The property strategy where the income is most passive and the income per square foot is highest is commercial property. So where am I today? I'm in a place called Goole. And I'm going to take you around this building, but what I want to do is I want to give you the figures first, just so you can write them down and think about it as we walk around. And then when we've finished inside, we can go outside and I'll show you the street and how close we are to everything. So this property is 3,600 square feet. Now, what does that mean? 3,500 square feet. Well, if I put some sort of feel to it, a typical 3-bedroom house is about 850 square feet. So this is about 3.5, 4 3-bedroom houses. That's roughly how big this single property is. This property came onto the market a while ago now, came onto the market at £139,000. Now, it's the only empty commercial premises in this entire street. So why is it empty? Well, because it's out of position. There are so many properties like this that it's not that the property doesn't make money, it's not that the property doesn't make sense, it's the wrong type of offering for the local environment. So finally, a passive income stream that is truly easy to find, once you know what you're looking for, and virtually no competition. No competition, because nobody wants it, because there are no tenants in its current format. Well, we're upstairs here, and we're in a part of the building that used to be used for a gym. You can see it's got some exposed beams, you can see there's, windows to the front, you can see there's mirrors everywhere. So this part of the building used to be a gym. Downstairs, I'll take you downstairs later on, that used to be a shop. So downstairs a shop, and then upstairs a gym, and then there's another unit on the other side that I'll show you. So if you imagine it's just a rectangle on 2 stories. So what are we going to do with it? We're going to take the upper story and we're going to split it into 2 flats that we could just flip or use as buy-to-lets or whatever. But we're going to change them into 2 service departments. We're service department operators. So downstairs we're going to keep shops, offices, whatever. So downstairs, I'll tell you what we're going to do downstairs. So the purchase price, the agreed purchase price, this property is going through legals at the moment, is £107,000. And then you've got the conversion cost upstairs for a couple of flats, 2 flats that we're going to use as 2 service departments. And the conversion cost is round about, by the time we've tidied up the outside and everything else, is round about roughly £60,000. So we'll be all done, including fees, £165,000, £170,000, something like that. The current exact budget we're working to is £172,000 for everything. When we've finished, we'll have 2 nice big flats. So 3,600 square feet for the whole building is 1,800 square foot per floor, roughly. They're slightly different sizes, outbuildings downstairs. So that means when you take away the access area, it's just a it's a normal staircase coming up, 1 flat on the left, 1 flat on the right. So we'll have 2 flats at over 800 square feet each, 72, 73 square metres. So 2 nice big flats. So we've done our work on comparables in the area, and if we wanted to just flip them, sell them, they'd be worth about £85,000 each. So that's question number 1 you should always ask yourself with commercial property. How do I get the downstairs for nothing? So the whole project is going to cost us about 170. So once we've done the project upstairs, the 2 flats upstairs, 85,000 each, £170,000. So I know you'd need to do the fine detail of the intricacy of the budget and do it properly, but very, very, very close 170 flat value, 170 to buy it and develop it. You've just got the downstairs for nothing. So we'll walk through now, if it's okay, and I'll show you. Well, I'll show you the back first. So here, big open space. So you can imagine this is going to be a very nice 2-bedroom flat. And then through the back here, we've got yet more space. This was used previously as the sort of changing rooms and bathroom for the gym. So you've just got a little bathroom area here, not very exciting. So this could be a back bedroom. We could even use it as a bathroom. I'm just trying to give you a feel for quite how large this place is. Okay, and according to our architects, according to our builders, we could actually get 3 units up here. And I'll show you the access and you'll see that's absolutely right. But for me personally, I'd far rather have 2 larger units than 3 little tiddly ones. And the smallest one, always be careful with this. If your smallest unit isn't at least 30 square meters, which is 350 square feet, you won't get a mortgage on it very easily, or maybe not at all, in fact. So if you just follow me on through here. You can see, I don't know how good the lighting is, but you can see down the stairs there to the doorway, which leads straight onto the street. So just come up this set of stairs, and you've got one flat through here, and the other flat we've already been in behind us. So coming on through to the second flat, you can see we've just got a little bit more stud partition in here, but it's effectively a mirror image of the first one. So over here, they've subdivided it. But you see that's just a bit of stud wall that can come out very, very simply. And you can see it's, it's just an exact mirror image of the other one. So there's not really a lot of ripping out in here to do. And rule of thumb, to convert an empty space like this into a flat, you're talking £25,000 to £30,000, which is consistent with what we're going to be spending on this place. We're obviously going to rewire it, replumb it, and all the other things. Another small room through here. So you can see, absolutely perfect. 2 flats upstairs and 2 shops downstairs. So I've covered with you the purchase price upstairs. Now, why wasn't anybody taking this as a complete commercial unit? It's too big. Most local shopkeepers, solicitors' offices, most, so here's another rule of thumb for you, they're going to want between 800 and 1200 square foot for a unit. So at 3,600 square foot, this is somewhere between 3 and 4 units. It's just too big. And ground floor, glass fronted commercial boxes that I'll take you downstairs and show you in a minute, you can let them out. But even so, 1,800 square foot on the bottom floor, on the ground floor, is too big. So the decision we've taken downstairs is we're going to cut it in half. And so in other words, instead of 1 unit at 1,800 square feet, we're going to have 2 units at 900 square feet each. But of course, we can put that dividing wall wherever we want because we've got 2 front doors onto the street. So if somebody wanted 800 square foot and the other one wanted 1,000 square feet, no problem. We'll just put the wall in the right place. If they want exactly 900 square feet each, no problem. And I think for all of us, we should be looking at which local business can we get in? Which 10% yield? Now, don't stress too much when I start talking about yields. But you could end up with a Greggs or a Costa Coffee or something downstairs. You get that, that's the holy grail. That's jam on top of your bread. But I'm going to go downstairs now, and I'm going to start talking about the commercial units downstairs. But just to repeat the figures, make sure everybody's got the figures. Unit size, 3,600 square feet. Upstairs, 1,800 square feet. We're going to cut into 2 800 square feet flats because we lose a little bit of the space in the lobby area. So the 2 flats will be 800 to 850 square feet each. The conversion cost per flat, because you can see it's just bare walls, we've got to rewire it, replumb it, put up all the stud work, create the bathrooms, the kitchen, the everything else. So budget, and this is a detailed budget, but rule of thumb, 25 to 30,000 pounds per flat. So purchase price 107, conversion cost 60, and we end up with 2 flats on the top floor at £85,000 each, 170, which means we've got the ground floor for free at that point. So we've also got work to do, but that is a stunning return on any investment. Now, as it happens, as you possibly know, we are service accommodation operators. So we're going to hold these two up here and run them as service accommodation. Okay, so let's take a wander downstairs and I'll see you down there. Okay, so welcome to downstairs. We've already got planning permission for this unit. So here you can see this is the first floor plan. You can see the stairs where we've just been up, and this was the gym area that we were in, and this was the second part of the upstairs that we were in. So you can see in both cases 2 bedrooms on the front of the property, lounge diner, then a bathroom at the back. For the second property, again 2 bedrooms at the front, slightly different configuration because the extension at the back isn't quite the same size. So just a toilet there and then a bathroom. So this flat is a little bit smaller because the extension at the back is not the same size. This is what it looks like from the outside. So there's some bricked up windows that need to be reopened and whatever, but hardly anything to do really on the outside. And then downstairs, that's the existing first floor. So that's as it is now, that we took the pictures, we took the video upstairs just very, very recently. Then the existing external elevations. So what these plans don't have on is this floor, because there's no changes to it. It's currently configured as one shop. This used to be a tool hire shop. I think it was Dickie's Tool Hire. So you can see here there's a very classical window display unit. You can see there's 2 window displays this side with the door in the middle. So you've got kind of an external porch area with a roller shutter on it coming through to the shop floor here, and same again on that side, and that's the door to go up the stairs. So although the last tenant used this as one shop for years and years and years, it used to be 2 shops. So here is where this is a structural wall. So we've got the flexibility downstairs to cut it into 1, 2, or even potentially 3. So we can obviously reseal this, and that's got its own front door over there. To go upstairs, you've already got, as we've seen earlier on, the staircase just there with its own external door. If you just follow me around here, this used to be the second shop. So you can see here we've got the trade counter, and well, still got the various, we take credit cards, various tools that they used to sell and so on. There's the Dickie's sign, so I think this used to be a Dickie's shop. And here is the second shop entrance. This is a structural wall. This isn't. That's just been put in. So if you can imagine a mirror image of what's through there and having a piece of glass here, this is the second front door. So downstairs, tiny modifications to turn it back to being a shop again. Still got the hinges here from the original door. So there would have been a door here, piece of glass, and then you've got your next shop window here. And it's the other side of this side is a bit bigger. But the agent that we've been talking to is saying, well, actually this could be quite interesting, because let's say we've got a front door there, take that out, and then have both these to one customer. And she's actually thinking about a nail bar and hairdressers. So on this side, we could have the nail bar, potentially. And then around here, on this side, which is a bit bigger, we could potentially have the hairdressers. So you can see, just down there, here's the other shop window. So this is the display window here, complete as was, roller shutter on the outside. Doesn't really need to do anything, because here's the next beautiful thing. When you take a commercial property like this and you give them 4 walls and a roof, almost all your clients will do the internal shop fit. So you don't need to bash this around down here. You just give it to them as it is. You agree with them any landlord works, whatever the landlord works would be, if anything, and then the rest of the money. So to give you an example, Costa Coffee, when they go in and fit a unit out, they'll spend £300,000-400,000 on your property. Weatherspoons, this is too small for a Weatherspoons, but Weatherspoons would typically spend something like 1.5 million on a shop fit. Even a relatively small shop could easily spend £300,000-400,000 on your shop. Crazy what they spend. It's crazy good, by the way. Just to finish off downstairs, here is the other side of that front door. That's the stud, and that is the structural wall. So I've given you a walk around, and for the final part of this, we're going to go outside and we're going to look in the street. So downstairs, we've now got 2, possibly 3 units. One of these units, we've already got agreed in principle to let, and we've agreed in principle to let it for £6,600 a year. That's for the far side. This side is actually bigger because it's slightly asymmetrical how it's split up downstairs. So it's about 800 square feet we've got over there that's let for 6,600. This side is about just over 1,000 square feet. So we should be looking at 8 to 10,000. It will be 10 easily if we get 2 separate operators in here. It might be 8 if someone takes the whole thing. So downstairs, which you'll remember we've got for free because we've got 2 service accommodation units upstairs, the rent should be round about in the region of 7,000 for the far side and 8 to 10,000 for this side. So let's go worst case. Let's say 7 and 8. That's £15,000. And normal businesses will have a yield of about 10%. Now more of that in future videos in this series, but 15,000 rent on an FRI lease, more about that in a future series. 10% yield is £150,000. So the total value of this building will become 150 downstairs, could be more, could be 170, could even be 200. Upstairs, another 170. So 300 to 350,000 is your range, depending on your exact tenants, and we're buying it for 107. So there's various ways in which you can monetize this. Downstairs, truly passive income, FRI lease, full repairing and insuring lease. You, the landlord, are responsible for nothing. The tenant is responsible for everything. Upstairs, we happen to be service accommodation operators. But you could do a contract, you could do a lease with a service accommodation operator upstairs. So you've got FRI upstairs, FRI downstairs, nothing to do. And let's say the 2 units upstairs went out for £500 a month each. That's £12,000 a year, £15,000 downstairs. You've got £27,000 a year with no effort required at all from you. Now, let's say you want to go the extra few hundred yards and you want to be a service accommodation operator. Well, easily upstairs, you'll make £1,000 a month. That's £2,000 a month, which is £24,000 a year, plus 15,000 downstairs. That's 39. Let's call it £40,000 from a £107,000 building. You cannot do that any other way. This strategy is mind-blowingly powerful. And I want to reassure you, it is truly passive income. That's the first thing. Second thing, there are opportunities like this in every city, every town in the UK. The thing is, you've got to know what you're looking for. You come and buy this building and you don't know that you need to separate the upstairs from the downstairs and cut the downstairs in half, you're going to be in trouble. You could sit there with an empty commercial building for a long time. And I've got to promise you, that is not fun. That is not fun. So, thing number 1, it's passive. Really passive. Nothing to do once you've got it set up. Thing number 2, it's easy as long as you know how. Thing number 3, you can genuinely get, and I hope you can see from this short video that I'm doing, that you can genuinely get the downstairs for nothing, if that's what you want to do. Because we could just sell, we could just flip the 2 upstairs and just keep the downstairs for free. In future videos, what I'm going to be sharing with you is how we structure deals. What we've done on this one is that we've got Gordy and Abby doing all the work, and we've got Annika and myself providing the funds. So when we've finished, we're going to have 1 shop and 1 flat, 1 SA unit each. Now we can obviously decide whatever we want to do with them. So things you can do, so you know your various exit routes. We could sell the flats. We could run the flats as service accommodation. We could run them as buy-to-lets. Downstairs, we can keep them or we can sell them. Put a tenant in it, put it into auction and sell it all day long really, really fast. Or the downstairs, we could keep in our pension funds. So you've got multiple exits. So just to recap and just to recoup before we go outside for the final part of this video. Truly passive income, opportunities everywhere, massive cash flow, capital allowances. I'm not going to talk in detail about capital allowances, but huge capital allowances on a building like this, huge, and multiple exit routes. That is why I love this strategy so much. All right, catch you outside. Okay, welcome to outside. So here we are in the middle of Gaul, and just down there, that is literally the town centre. Literally the town centre. So the two main shopping streets, you can see through there, I think it's a British Heart Foundation, is the main shopping street, and there's another secondary street between us, in fact where that red Mini just went. So that's the secondary shopping street. So this is a secondary location. I love secondary locations just off prime. So you can get the actual units for absolute bargains. So the street that our property's in is this one. So you can see we've got town ends, chartered accountants, wealth management, insurance brokers, payroll services, residential. In fact, that one, town ends have taken upstairs as well, because I can see the sign up there, and I can also see shutters, so blinds. So upstairs there, that's all commercial. So that's unusual. That's a big commercial. But if you walk further down the street, we've got, what's that next one? Elizabeth Home Care, where that lady's just walked in the pink top or whatever it was. Oh no, that's ProStar. Which one is she going? I think she went in the Home Care one. So we've got the Home Care one next door. I can't pretend I know what Elizabeth Home Care does. It says domiciliary care. All right, so what that means is they provide carers for people living at home. So perhaps people with special needs of one kind or another, or perhaps elderly people that need some sort of assistance. On this side, we've got Glyn Cowling & Co. cabinet makers. So this street is entirely, there isn't a single empty commercial property on it except ours. And you can see it's mixed. If you go further on down that way, it's mixed commercial and residential. I love these kind of streets. Reminds me where I was brought up. I feel at home. So next to Elizabeth Home Care, we've got Pro Styling. Waxing, individual eyelashes, spray tans, nails, whatever, all good. Next, you can recognise it from its twirly thing going round there, the blue and red twirly thing. That's a barber's, a man's hairdresser's. So all full up. And then you can see along, oh no, Paul, it's boarded up, it's no good, it's shut. You told me there's no empty properties in this street. Well, relax, that's the one that we're buying. You can see up the top there it says sold. So, retail shop, planning consent for 2 units above. So that's the outside of the one that we've just seen from the inside. I'm not going to walk you all the way down this street, but there's a computer shop, there's a studio, there's just all the way down. Every single one is full up. And what's this one here? Okay, this one's called Highlights. I think it's another hairdresser's by the look of it. It's a man driving quite fast. This is a 30 mile an hour area. That wasn't 30 miles an hour. So I want to wrap this video now just by sharing with you some final thoughts for now, because I'm going to be seeing you again very soon. There are 3 million residential property investors in the UK. No figures exist for commercial property investors. There's no record anywhere. But what I can tell you is that less than 1 in 100, in my experience, residential investors invest in commercial. So you've got fantastic opportunities like ours just there. Fantastic opportunities, but no competition. So how good would that be? More money, less work, no competition. So that's the first thing. Second thing, and you'll hear more about this in this video series, huge tax breaks, capital allowances. So just by buying that building, we can get between 25 and 40% of the building value plus up to 100% of the refurb costs as a capital allowance. So roughly, we're going to be in for about £40,000 on purchase price and another £60,000 on the refurb. So we'll be round about £100,000 of capital allowance. So if you're a 40% taxpayer, that £100,000 capital allowance is worth £40,000 in your pocket. So if you want to go buy buildings like this, that £40,000 capital allowance is pretty much the entire deposit. So even if you did have to leave some money in, because the numbers didn't quite work for whatever reason, you're going to get a £40,000 tax rebate. So it's money, 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 money. So number one, no competition. Number two, capital allowances, tax, all those things. And number three, I'm going to say it again, no work, passive income. I love commercial property. I really, truly, deeply find it to be my number one preferred property strategy. And especially in combination with service accommodation. So look, these are residential, those are residential. So this is a residential commercial street. So what could be more natural than taking the ground floor back to commercial, but split it in half. You can see how big it is if we don't split it in half. And upstairs, a couple of flats. I hope you've enjoyed this short video, and I'd like to give you a little sneak peek into what's happening with the next video. I'm going to talk in detail. I'm going to give you the reasons why commercial property trumps residential property every time. That's the first thing. Second thing, I want to make sure that by the time you finish the second video in this series, you understand the Rule of 72, because the Rule of 72 is one of the most powerful wealth building rules you'll ever learn in your life. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this, I would like to ask you for a little favour. In fact, two little favours. I would like to share this message with as many people as possible. So if you've enjoyed the content, could you please like it? And could you please also share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues, your loved ones? So I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to leave you to enjoy whatever it was you were doing before I interrupted your life. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.